It's like Godzilla on Fast Forward. Only 5 months after the release of Godzilla, Toho decides to make another one, titled Godzilla's Counterattack in Japan, but here we go by Godzilla Raids Again in the US. Now in this movie, a new Godzilla has appeared into the world and has become a problem. This was actually something that Dr. Yamane worried about at the end of the first movie, that if atomic testing doesn't stop, a new Godzilla will be born into this world. And sure enough, a new Godzilla is here. However, this time he's not alone. He's accompanied by a monster named Anguirus, which is basically a giant armored ankylosaurus, who would be a really famous Godzilla ally. However, in this movie, they spend most of the time fighting each other and creating massive destruction all over Osaka, and this would be a trend that would carry on to the rest of the Godzilla movies, where two monsters fight each other in the middle of the city. That's all you need. Now, the dark tone that the first movie had set, where Godzilla is a metaphor for the atomic bomb, is pretty much gone in this movie. The fact that there's another monster and they're practically fighting each other kind of distracts from the dark tone that this movie is trying to imitate. The music, cinematography, and character care is trying to be like the first movie again, but just kind of fall flat. Not to say that they're bad. I do like the human characters in this movie. It's just I don't care for them as much as I did for Ogata Emiko and Dr. Serizawa in the first Godzilla movie. The music this time is done by Masaru Sato, who has a very different tone from Akira Ifukube, which his tone is not to be dark at all. He's the composer that would score a lot of Kurosawa films like The Hidden Fortress, Yojimbo, and Sanjuro. And his tone is very upbeat. He even scored some future Godzilla movies. So, I mean, it's a good score, but it just doesn't fit the tone that this movie's trying to be. As for the cinematography, it's still black and white. It still looks good. However, there's one weird problem concerning the fight scene in Osaka. Now, first a little lesson on how to film monsters in suits. Now, the Godzilla movies always have two directors. They have the director that manages the human stuff, like Ishiro Honda for the first movie, and then they have the special effects director, who is Eiji Tsuburaya from 1954 to 1968. His job is basically to work the special effects and make sure they are working properly. So, for the first Godzilla movie, they had to shoot it at a high camera speed, so Godzilla would move really slow and look like he's really bulky, and make him look giant. Because on set, the actor inside the suit, who in this case is Godzilla's suit actor Haru Nakajima, who would be Godzilla from 1954 and 1972, his job was to basically move faster than normal, so that when the cameras picked it up, he looked like he was moving slowly and looked like he was giant. The fight scene in Osaka had 3 cameras to film all the action. 2 cameras were set at a high speed, which got the right movement for Godzilla and Anguirus to move. 1 camera, however, was set at low speed, which meant when the actors playing Godzilla and Anguirus were moving faster than usual just to get the correct speed for those 2 cameras. On the 3rd camera, it looked weird. I mean, it looked... Okay, here's an example. In Godzilla movies, you'll see monsters fight like this. On set, it will look like this. In that 3rd camera I was mentioning, it looks like this. Like, it's just so bizarre, like, really weird. I mean, it's basically an uh-oh moment. When the special effects director checked that 3 cameras and saw that 3rd one was moving at a faster speed, he was like, whoa. okay. But he ended up liking it, and that's why it's in the movie. It makes the movie look a little cheaper, but honestly, the sets for the human characters look more fake than the sets for the monsters. Isn't that a weird thing? But I mean, in the end, despite it trying to be like the first Godzilla movie and not succeeding 100%, it's still a fun movie, and basically good, but not great. And now I'm going to go into a review/rant of the American version, which, looking at the poster here, you can already tell why I'm going to go on a rant. Gigantis the Fire Monster? That's the most, like, generic name I've ever heard. I mean, first of all, the producer of the American version said, we renamed the monster Gigantis because we didn't want people to be confused with Godzilla. Even though it is Godzilla, and the whole time I watched the American version, I was like, wait, why are you calling the monster Gigantis? It's Godzilla, look! I mean, I hated this movie as a kid. I mean, the dubbing, they try to mouth the Japanese dialogue, so there's one famous line where our main character says "bakara," which in Japanese means idiot. I might have pronounced that wrong in Japanese, but basically bakara means idiot. So in the American version, to try to match the lips, they say banana oil, which is just, that makes no sense. Why do you say banana oil? Why you say banana oil? Like those memes, but whatever. And then the music is completely different. It's so upbeat, so 50s. That's basically stock music from American science fiction movies at the time. There's stock footage of just like American newsreels, just basically a bunch of shit to make it seem more Americanized, which I hate it. And there are many points in the movie where Godzilla is in the scene without Anguirus, and Anguirus' roar will play, which is so confusing because they have very distinctive roars. So whenever Anguirus' roar played, when I saw this as a kid, I was like, wait, where's that coming from? Where's Anguirus? I mean, as a kid, I hated this movie, and what's interesting is that the original fate of the American version was going to be the Godzilla and Anguirus suits were going to be sent from Japan to the US, so the US could film their own version called the Volcano Monsters. Granted, Godzilla's name would still have been different, probably, but basically it would be a completely different movie with different actors. But the reason that didn't happen was some jackass lost the suits, so the suits have been long gone, because of some idiot, some bakara. So they ended up dubbing the movie, calling it Gigantis the Fire Monster. The movie ended up bombing critically and financially in the US, with a reason. I mean, if you find the DVD, it comes with the Japanese and English version. Watch the Japanese version, because for all I care, this US version, Gigantis the Fire Monster, could burn in hell. So there you go. Even though I hate Gigantis the Fire Monster, I still like Godzilla Raids Again. And with that said, thank you for watching my review. I will see you guys tomorrow with my review for what could possibly be Godzilla's most famous movie. So until then, I'll see you guys later. Bye.